Hello all, I'm Scarp SCS, but that's not important right now as in this episode of Cogs, Gears and Optic Sensors, we are taking a jump forwards in the publication timeline of the Marvel Transformers comic universe and looking at Secrets and Lies issue 0 from the August of 2019, produced by IDW Comics. Written by long-term franchise scribe Simon Furman, with art by Guido Guidi and retro-style Ben Day colouring by Jean-Paul Beauvais, this prequel issue links directly into the 34-year-old Man of Iron storyline that we've covered in our previous two videos, and starts with Autobot's secret agent Punch, setting the scene at the height of the Autobot-Decepticon civil war, whilst alluding to the reader that there are other aspects of the story that have gone as yet untold. And as we continue establishing the timeline for us, we get a splash page of G1 Optimus and plenty of familiar faceplates in the background, working away on the still Marvel Comics coloured silver arc as Prime laments the problem that Cybertron faces in the form of Megatron. Turning the page reveals that Prime is in discussion with UK exclusive character Councillor Tracon, who is not entirely convinced on the focus of Megatron's conquest of Cybertron to the exclusion of all else, as Prime points out the speed in which he is securing it. Fast forward 4 million years, however, and the battle for Stantham Castle is well underway, but as night falls, a craft comes tearing through the sky, making a crash landing nearby, as Autobot clones Fastlane and Cloudraker emerge and reveal that their mission is to find the long-lost Ark, which as we know has been crashed on Earth. Their rescue mission has not gone unnoticed though, as we see them being watched by our narrator in his counterpunch guise. Meanwhile, both chronologically and geographically, preparations continue for the Ark's voyage, and Furman sneaks a classic Marvel info dump in, giving us an insight into the motivation of the 84 cast for signing up for such a high profile mission, somewhat reminiscent of the Autobot intro in the original issue number 1. The somewhat stoic Optimus looks on, however, as he explains the perils of the mission to Ultra Magnus, who is to remain on planet Cybertron and lead their forces in the leader's absence. Magnus picks up on Prime's cues and expresses his concerns around the true intent of the launch, as Prime shoots a sideways glance at Punch, who is waiting patiently in the shadows. The Marvel nods just keep coming as on this page we see a purple Soundwave, Megatron retaining his comic book accurate black head sculpt, and Furman and Guidi weave the story into the original book by recreating this panel from issue 1 of Ravage spying on the Autobots. With the information gleaned by the cassette spy and the seeds sown by Punch, they bait Megatron into following the arc of his own accord. But we do need to pay attention here, folks, as the story jumps back again to 1017 and Stantham Castle, as it transpires that the Duocons and at least one of the Decepticon clones are present with Counterpunch, and whilst they are making good use of their alternate modes, they are not quite grasping the robots in disguise aspect of medieval England as Flywheels jets off. The game may be up for our Autobot clones, as their crashed ship is surrounded by humans who are themselves ambushed by a rival group, and with our two Autobots contemplating breaking the rules and engaging, Wingspan makes a shocking discovery that his Autobot opposites have successfully tracked the long-lost Ark to Earth. But before he can report it back, Counterpunch safeguards his comrades by dispatching the unsuspecting Wingspan with a single headshot. Now, a quick mention to the characters used here. None of the clones, nor Punch, were featured in the original Marvel book, so Furman has done a great job of using them all here and not creating a continuity headache, whilst simultaneously explaining their absence. Additionally, these are all 1987 toys, which is the same year that Man of Iron was reprinted in the US book. Back to the Autobot clones, however, who deem that getting back to their craft is key and ignore protocol by engaging the locals, as the humans can't believe who these giants of iron are before them. Prior to the launch of the Ark, though, a clandestine meeting between Optimus and Punch, well away from any prying optic sensors, reveals the success of the long-term strategy that Optimus has been hatching, and as we see the Ark is readied for launch, it is made apparent that Prime wanted Megatron to follow him off-world all along, and Prime burdens poor Punch with one last task. In future Stantham, though, Battletrap is out for vengeance upon finding that Wingspan has been retconned into a headmaster, and as the Autobot clones think they've secured a way back to their shuttle, they are set about by a Decepticon squad. But we don't get to see how that plays out just yet, as we are back with the Ark as he gets boarded, and some more nostalgia-inducing panels referencing the original issue 1 as Prime prepares to control-delete Megatron and his followers on a permanent basis. The action returns to Stantham though, as Cloud Raker makes use of his in-bio gravity rod rifle to make quick work of Battletrap, only to get caught short by Flywheels, as Fastlane returns fire, putting Flywheels down, but it is sadly too late from preventing his brother from needing urgent repairs, and he retreats back to their ship, only for a seemingly reticent punch in his counterpunch guise to fire one carefully well-aimed shot, bringing it back down to Earth in flames, finding its final resting place at the castle. Fastlane puts out a distress signal, with the craft being named after Bill Mantlo, the writer of the original issue 1, and it's presented to us, the reader, that Fastlane is the eponymous Man of Iron, whilst the incapacitated Cloud Raker is the navigator, as their ship crashes into the castle where it won't be found for nearly another 1,000 years. The final page, however, reveals Optimus Prime's long game all along. The Ark launch is a suicide mission, and he plans to bury himself with Megatron and for them to never be found no matter where they land, with him having gone full Dark of the Moon Sentinel Prime and concluding that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
How doomed you are, Autobots. You simply fail to understand that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
This provides some fantastic context for the final moment of the ship before Jazz torches it in the original story, and puts a whole new spin on the entirety of Optimus Prime's character and the lengths he's prepared to go to in the Marvel Universe to protect his homeworld. So that's it for this prequel comic and the way it loops into Marvel Comics continuity. How did you find the way it changes some of the aspects of the original story and characterizations? Be sure to let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. If you didn't like it, leave one anyway. If you want to come and say hi on social media, you can find me here. So thanks for watching along, folks, and above all, stay safe.